Y'all. In case y'all don't know about biscuits and gravy, for those out there in the chat, this is the Westgate Superbook first college football contest, which is huge. And we are in that joint, okay? And we are biscuits and gravy in there. So come on down to the diner and get some of these biscuits and gravy.
Okay.
It's funny seeing that on a Friday night because normally we're having breakfast on a Saturday morning on the West Coast with you guys, so it's a little more appropriate. But hey, it's never eating breakfast is a good time any time of the day.
Yep. So I was saying that last week looked a little bit like this here. Wait, no, that's this week. Last week looked more like this. Okay, we had a decent night out. You know, we were 4-2-1. That push into Iowa. If we could have got past that, that would have been great. But yes, we did get Pitt minus 22.5. UCLA was a loss for us. Virginia Tech was a loss for us. We also got the push with Iowa, but Colorado plus 23.5. USC and Baylor with the comeback, sweating your hand at the towel victory came back. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that was last week. This week, let's get it together, fellas. Yes, we got to get out there and get this thing together. Here's a little motivation. Let's put the women and kids in bed and let's go get dinner, fellas. And that's what we got to do right here. This week's pick, we got Cal plus 2.5. Big Ragu. A lot of stuff about this Cal game. A lot of guys are on Cal in this game right here. In all kinds of ways, money line and everything. Break it down for them. Let them know how we got the Cal.
Yeah, well, this game has got a kind of a different look to it. Both of these teams, believe it or not, have a very favorable schedule. I would say favorable, more so for Cal, because they don't have to play Clemson, they don't have to play Miami, they have to play Florida State, they don't have to play Georgia Tech or Notre Dame for that matter. So this team can kind of, I'm not going to say skate because anything can happen, but this is, they can get bowl eligible real early. You're looking at 8 wins possibly if they skip over, they get this game in the bank. They could be looking at 8-1, getting late in the season until they play like Louisville. So that this is a team that is very capable. The quarterback play, which I'm really really excited about for this team, JKS, right? Saga Palaute. I guess he's been another flying Hawaiian quarterback. That's a true freshman that's having great things happen. He had a great game against Oregon State. He passing wise, this team ranks 58th right now. They're averaging about 240 yards a game. Pretty good game at Oregon State. A little bit back, 20 for 30, 3 TD, 75% completion rate. So Cal has got to mainly their big struggles is on third down for them, moving the chains. But, they have some big play capabilities. Minnesota, on the other hand, hey, they started out against Northwestern State. They had a real good defensive effort against Buffalo, only giving up 151 yards on the ground. But, they're going to try to Cal's definitely going to try to establish a run against this team. The main thing for me on this game here is the Minnesota travel spot. And I know, normally teams going west have more difficulty, but you're going to see a lot of this going forward in the Big Ten with these teams. And this game's at 10:30 at night tonight, right? So they're going to be up real late, these kids. And that, to me, that's an adjustment period. You talk about a short number. You talk about 2.5, 2 points now, probably 2 now. So some money's coming in on Cal, like you said. Minnesota is going to try to establish a run, but I give the edge here to Cal playing at home. To me, that's worth a field goal. And I'm probably thinking, it's basically a pick 'em game in my book. But, the home field, the late night start, that all is going to add in right now. So both of these teams, I say, are pretty equal in different ways. But, X's and O's are a pretty decent matchup. But I think the late night start for Minnesota, You talk about this team's going to be up past 1 o'clock in the morning, where they're used to being in bed probably about 9 o'clock Eastern time. So I think Cal kind of gets this on a schedule base, and I like the quarterback. I give a big edge, even though he's a true freshman. I like the quarterback here for Cal. We know Cal's put some big quarterbacks out in the past. This kid could be a special deal going forward.
Absolutely. And Wine, you agree with this Cal thing? I didn't actually cap the game. This is we cohesively put this together, but my man Wine has a little something on Cal too, right, Wine?
I didn't play this game yet. I'm gonna move on it though. But when Doc said that, I agreed with it because when I capped this game, I thought it was Cal. Cal's playing some good big time football. And Wilcox, man, I mean, he came this year kind of on the hot seat. The guy knows how to recruit. He knows how to bring big time ball players in there because they always seem to kind of transfer out. But a lot of the guys that stick around seem to have some success with his system. I like him as a head coach, and going to Cal, it's like Berkeley's a really hard school academically, so it's like not everyone can just go there. And he's building something over there, I feel like, and Cal is only getting better. Minnesota, though, I was kind of high on Minnesota going into this year, but this just seems like kind of a tough spot. Minnesota hasn't shown me anything on offense. And it's a new quarterback in there for Minnesota, too. This guy's a redshirt freshman that redshirted last year. He sat behind the guy that was there last year. I forgot what his name at the top of my head, but and he's supposed to know the offense, but they haven't looked too sharp yet. I know my guy Moose is on Minnesota, so opposite sides there, but I'm going to get to the window here on Cal before tomorrow for sure. This is a late time game, so that's why I haven't taken it yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough either way. It's not going to be an easy game for either team. It's going to be one of them squeaker type games, I believe. If it's a blowout, I'd be totally surprised here. And I kind of almost lean towards the under a little bit here, even though it's 41.5. It could get over there. It might stay. It might stay, and I doubt it stays like in a real high 20s. I think I see low 20s to like teens 20 type finish here.
Absolutely. Moving on to the next pick is Purdue plus 20. It's actually up a little more right now, I believe. But this is USC struggled on the road right here. In the Big Ten last year, and they expecting all the West Coast teams to struggle on the road, even though they do have been having some fantabulous performances, but they ain't really played a team crying like this Purdue team. I mean, if you look at Barry Odom coming from UCLA, jumping over to this Purdue team, he's brought, and I was testing to see the first weeks, what did he bring with him? What about his coaching is so spectacular? And the thing is, he's very balanced. He coaches offense and defense well. So he's bringing the same thing over here to Purdue. USC is going to be on the road. They're going to be getting a different look than they normally get, judging from the last two opponents that they had. So Purdue is, I would say, a live dog right here in this game because USC is on the road. I mean, if they're that bad on the road, then they can go all the way down. But I do expect Purdue to cover. Anybody got something else on Purdue game?
I like Purdue. I think that they have a chance to stay within a couple scores of this ball game. Shout out to my kid I used to coach, Maxwell Barbie. He's on Purdue. He's a true freshman. Won't be playing this season. He's going to be redshirting, but shout out to him. This game, I like what Purdue's done in the last offseason. Barry Odom, and we know what he does when he goes to these programs. He turned UNLV into a successful program when he left there. He leaves places better where he comes into them, gets a good job at Purdue. He's bringing in a lot of his guys. It might take him some time. I don't think Purdue's going to win 7 or 8 games this season, but I think they're going to compete against some of these Big Ten teams, especially at home. The fan base has Barry Odom's back. If you guys have seen their home games, they've been getting sold out, and it's going to be a sellout crowd. We know USC is not really used to that. We know USC, these kids aren't really used to traveling across. I mean, we saw them struggle big time on the road last year, losing in all those one-score games were on the road against teams that they were favored against. I think Purdue can easily hang in this game. I think USC wins this game, absolutely. I think USC is a really good team. I think they have really 2 dynamic receivers in Lane and Mekhi Lemon. I like that they got the JUCO running back. That kid is an absolute stud over there, and they have a good quarterback in Jaden Maeva. At least Lincoln Riley, he didn't go after anyone in the portal. He kept him because he believes in him, and this is his year. So I like USC to win this game, but I think Purdue easily stays within 21. I got plus 21.5 on this, but what did we get on this? A 20?
Yeah, we got 20. We got a 20 early, but this went up to 21.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually these contest numbers are pretty close to what they predict, which way the actions coming in. The line's going to be set. But don't forget, USC is a big market team, so naturally, they're probably getting a lot of that late steam coming in at the books to kind of push that number up. I'm a big fan of USC. I stood off of this. I know that you guys were on Purdue, and I don't have an argument there that like I'm going to kind of dip in and dip out with USC. I just love their schedule for them because I think it's a very doable 10 win season for them. So and like you said, they'll probably win this game, but I'm not crazy about the number. But last week I was all over them. They were one of my favorite bets, and they kind of ran it up. So we're going to see that a lot with USC. As they develop and they play defense, the offense is going to be there. But like you said, going into Indiana and playing this particular game in the middle part of the day, just it's something that they're going to have to get used to doing, and they will acclimate and adjust. But Purdue is going to be one of those teams where last year, not so much. This year with Barry Odom, first year at home, that's the difference. If it was the other way around, USC would probably be 4 touchdowns at home. So today, I'm with you guys. I'll take the points.
That's right. Let's jump on into the Oregon game right here, which I like this play as well. Oregon, really fast team. Like, I'm looking in these first week. I'm looking for that team that look like they the one, like they the ones that's gonna be going the distance. And right now, Oregon looks like they're gonna be going the distance. This would be a nice test for them. I think Oregon can definitely get over this number. They poked the bear last week, and Dan Lanning went crazy on them. So he's got the media in his hand and everything. He got to keep doing it how he's doing it. So I think he doesn't have a problem running the score up, and I think this is a spot where he gets to run the score up.
Yeah, this is the only game I think I disagreed on. I'm on Northwestern, or I'm not on Northwestern. I wanted to be on Northwestern, but at the same time, Oregon, I mean, this team is so talented, and Dante Moore, he's just in the perfect situation right now. These offensive calls that they're calling for him, that like Will Stein and what Dan Lanning are doing over there right now, calling this offense. They are offensive gurus. It doesn't really matter who's even at the quarterback position, and we know Dante Moore can sling it. Watch out for number 1 receiver Moore over there, the true freshman. That kid is an absolute stud and will be getting drafted in the first round for 3 years. I didn't move on this game because of the fact that we have it in the contest, but I do think Oregon has the talent to put these guys here for sure. Is there a little bit of noise? Can you hear that?
Yeah, it's a little something scratchy, like paper or something. But yeah, I like that too. The Dante Moore, man, and Devin Dampier. I think those two may go the distance as far as Heisman and solid Heisman candidates right now. Because
Utah's going to the playoffs. They're going to win the Big 12.
Yeah, at this point in time, you got to look at the teams that's going to be winning 10 games plus. So I think those two are good high candidates right now. What you got on this one, Big Ragu?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious on this one myself. I like Oregon here. I think after that huge effort. I mean, I know that Lanning called the dogs off after they ran up about 63 points. It was an ugly game for Oak State last week. I mean, how do you come back off of that effort? Look for the look ahead game. I don't know who they got coming up next. I have to look at that, but I know this could be like a sandwich game for them. I know it's conference, but still, this could be a game where they just kind of take it. I'm not gonna say easy, but they just kind of stretch your legs out a little bit and get to a certain point of comfort and just kind of get players, keep them tuned up for another day. So this is a game that they should win easily. But like I say, it's a road game for them. They had 2 games at home. Now they go on the road here. So this is a game I'm going to take pause on. But I'm a huge fan of this team too. I had them picked early week, and it's almost like the books are begging you, because if you look at what they did last week, and Oak State, I think, is a better team than Northwestern, and they demolished them. I mean, why are they only hanging 27.5 here? So like, hey, that's 4 touchdowns, So, and that line's pretty much stood the same all week long. So it's a little fishy number here in my book.
I like that. Florida game right here. This is a big game right here. For the most part, I stayed off, but my guys right here are all on Florida with the LSU. I don't know. Well, it's just a matter of time for Brian Kelly shows the real Brian Kelly. But right now, he got the key to the city. I'm not gonna hold that game against them because it was a little hungover type game. So I'm not gonna hold that game against them. And the quarterback over there is really well. And if they win 10 games, he's gonna be in the Heisman conversation as well. But I stayed off for the most part, but I definitely support my guys. I see the Florida look. I mean, Napier back is against the wall. He got to bring out everything he know, but he's going up against Brian Kelly, who can give you back everything that you're talking. So, this one right here, I like to play, and I'm just gonna roll with my guys and see how it goes out. But let me know how y'all got to that Florida plus 7.5.
Go ahead, Juan, kick it off.
Yeah, Florida coming off a really disappointing loss to an in-state rivalry in USF, probably a game that they had circled on their schedule for quite some time, and they went in there and took care of business. A lot of things came out about a week ago that DJ Lagway actually didn't play a lot during the summer, and during fall camp he was very limited up until the last couple practices. Didn't get a lot of time with the new offense. He got a new wide receiver in J. Michael Sturdivant. He coming over from UCLA, a guy that I thought is going to be an NFL wide receiver. He looks the part. They got to get him the ball some way in this game. You just look at Florida from a talent standpoint. I mean, Billy Napier has recruited his absolute ass off in the state of Florida, and the kind of people, guys that he's bringing in there right now, people want to go to Florida right now. It's kind of crazy. Like, I don't know about now after the bad loss, but his backup is against the wall right now. This is a big time game. I like Florida. We're getting this many points. I like DJ Lagway. I think he's a stud. I think when you look at him, you're like, this is an NFL. Like, this is the kind of guy you want as your NFL quarterback. Like, this guy's got the stature and everything. He's just got to show it on the field. I think they're going to be able to hang tight in this game, if not win this game outright. Billy Napier knows his back is against the wall. If he can at least keep this game close, I don't think he will be fired. I don't think he'll be fired even if they get blown out. We'll see, but Billy Napier needs this game. He needs to at least make this competitive game. So that's why I'm on Florida plus the points. Take it away, Doc.
I love it. Love the breakdown. Everybody's calling for Napier's head. We're 2 games in this season. They got a murderer's row schedule. They probably have one of the toughest schedules in the country, Florida. And when I looked at their schedule early on, and Napier, as hot as his seat has been, I said he might not make it through the year. But if he gets these key wins when they pop up, that should kind of, I said, keep prolonging him throughout the season, just to kind of keep the heat off his seat a little bit. But, the USF thing, that was upended in the swamp. And I'm not going to say they were looking ahead towards LSU, but that's a time. I mean, you look at what USF has done. They took down 2 top 25 teams back to back, and they got Miami this week. So if they win today, maybe that loss isn't as bad as it looks on paper than it is in reality. But that being said, going into Death Valley in the night time is a tough place to play. But Florida's had successes with LSU over the years, and then we know what our guy does at LSU in the big game. Sometimes he kind of drops the ball when you just think things are going good for him. But what LSU has done, their offense is still reaching, even though Nussmeier's been spectacular. They haven't put the numbers up. The numbers haven't been there. And the same thing with Florida last week. They got in. They were moving the ball really well in the first half, and they equated to field goals. So you're not going to win football games kicking field goals. And LSU stepped up on the defensive side. Florida's been always solid defensively. So right now, I think the defenses on both of these teams are way ahead of the offenses. So I love the under here, guys. I know we got Florida, and Florida's ripe for the upset. So I think it is going to be a low scoring game. I think we see like low 20s here. The total set at like 48, 47. I think we see like a 23-20 type game here. I think Florida could possibly steal the game, but I do love the under, and I like Florida plus the points. This is a must-win game for Florida right now.
There it is, man. I must say this. I will know this Friday's kind of hot, man. We got Moose Money, Peter Loshak. We got Reed Hill, Dommy Gunn, Comic Rick, Ix Nizzle. I mean, Sports Scientific Jacobs in the house. Man, we just so many of them, man. Nasty Nate stopped by. Jimmy Collins in the building. Flea Mathis in the building. Skylar Vessa in the building. Oh, man, it keeps going on. And our guy, AT33NC is in the house, and he says the party Born is open, so it's party time, baby. But let's keep rolling, man. Next one, Arizona. This is going down now. It's going down right now. It's a contest play. It's going down now. K-State is leading 3-0, and Arizona has the ball. First quarter, 7 minutes, 42 seconds. What do we got on this one, fellas?
Take it away, Rigu. This isn't mine, I don't think.
Yeah, this is one of our contest plays, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So basically, I think the lean on here is kind of like almost not quite the same look as the Cal game, but we got a Kansas State team that's ultra talented, right? And they've kind of like fumbled around a little bit and kind of played a little tight. Trying to get off the snide. They're sitting at 1-2 right now, 0-3 ATS. And then Arizona's starting off hot. They're 2-0, a 2-0 ATS, but they're playing to the under. So I see more of like a defensive scrum here. We're probably looking at 54.5, which is a pretty decent sized number. But this is not a typical Kleiman team to start off the season. Usually, Chris Kleiman has his team ready to go from jump. A lot of disappointments. But here we go again. They played that game across the pond, and that has a negative effect. I've seen it happen with Florida State, and usually it takes a while for these teams to snap that funk out of them. So, and the way Arizona has been playing right now, they're playing pretty solid football. So, and they're playing, playing at home. So, I like the dog here catching a small number, not a huge number. So that tells me, it's going to be like a late type of. It's not going to be a blowout, just like the Cal game, but they're apt to pull up an upset here. And you might as well just take Arizona on the money line. I know the game has already started and they're losing. So hey, if you like Arizona,
they in the red zone though. Arizona's in the red zone.
Okay, there you go.
Third and 2 in the red zone.
Solid number, but hey, jump on Arizona money line right now.
There you go. You heard it right here first. Next up, this Georgia game. Now I looked at this Georgia game, and at first glance I was like, man, Georgia offense is really kind of mid. Tennessee's defense is mid. Then on the other hand, Georgia's defense is good, and Tennessee offense has been good as well. So it was real tough tussle in here. But as I pulled back some layers, I was like, man, Kirby Smart has ruled Tennessee in his tenure right here. And I like that part of it. And a lot of people feel that it's time for Georgia to take a step up. I definitely don't see them losing in this one, but I think they get across the margin. I think they show you that they are playoff bound team this year. They did the same thing last year, kind of moved kind of slow in the beginning, but this one right here is one they want to go ahead and knock down. It's a conference opponent that they used to beat and all that kind of stuff. And nothing really mesmerizes me about Tennessee. Like if I felt like, okay, this was the Tennessee team that's gonna knock off Kirby Smart in his success versus his team, I would need to see something that kind of spells they're capable of doing it. And overall, this team doesn't show nothing like high impact that could go in here to make Georgia. Size, coaching, all those different factors are going to be determined in this game. Probably going to be a slow pace under game.
Touchdown. Touchdown Wildcats, Arizona, 7-3. Sorry, boss.
Let's go. But yeah, that's what I feel about Georgia. I like the 3.5. I definitely got Georgia in a couple little money line spots and some parlays and exotic stuff. But yeah, for the contest, absolutely. We had to take one of the top, games of the week. And, this is the one I think is the strongest one out of all the top games of the week, taking Georgia in this spot right here.
Take it away, Juan.
Oh, I love Georgia here, guys. Love the dogs. Love the dogs. Biggest play of the week is on the Tennessee team total under 23.5, minus 120. Guys, what's Joey Aguilar going to do when he sees these physical specimens on the Georgia defensive line and these linebackers? This linebacking core in Georgia is one of the best in the SEC, which tells you they're one of the best in the nation as well. I mean, guys, Joey Aguilar faced Syracuse, probably the worst defense maybe in the Power 4 level, which is kind of crazy to say because Fran Brown was such a defensive-minded guy. But why did Kyle McCord lead the nation in passing yards last year? They were from behind in a lot of those games, and they came back. They just gave up a lot of points. And Joey Aguilar hasn't showed me anything. And I think we saw him at Appalachian State a year ago throw just as many interceptions as much touchdowns, it seemed like. I think he's going to be in trouble today. I think Georgia is going to easily take care of business today. They win this game. They go up 24-0, and they put their foot on the brake, and they slow this game down and run this game out. And Tennessee is going to have to be one-dimensional, and that's Joey Aguilar in the pocket, and I don't think he's very good at that. So give me Georgia. I think Georgia wins this game by a lot of points, and Tennessee doesn't score anything. Maybe score 13 to 15 points. We'll see.
Yeah, and that was for our guys out in the party barn. I know they're going to be on Georgia today. Our guys out there at the party barn.
Go Dogs! Go Dogs! This is my biggest play of the game.
Behind the reasoning for you to hit that button. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit of spice to what my guy Wine just told you about. So how about this word owned? OWNED. That's what Heupel's been by Kirby Smart. He's been owned by him, okay? When Georgia goes to Neyland, they've scored 43, 41, and 38 points. You know what the team total on Georgia is? 27.5. You get to the window, you press the button on the team total Georgia over 27.5, and you go to the window and you collect your money. And double down, like my man Wine says, easy casher on the spread, 3.5. Double down on Georgia, team total and spread.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Let's keep it moving. Our last pick on here. Now, I'm going to be completely transparent with y'all. I goofed up the pick, and we actually have New Mexico instead of New Mexico State. Rookie mistake. So what? So what? We do this. Some of the best things like chicken and waffles came from or what about the French dip sandwich? You know, somebody dropped the sandwich in the juice. Okay. So I don't have much to tell you about New Mexico, but I do have a little something on New Mexico State. So New Mexico State in this one, they're going up against Sonny Crumby. He's definitely on the hot seat. He's in his 4th year, right? Y'all know how I feel about 4th-year coaches. And he's only returning 6 on offense, 3 on defense, which is far from what I like to see in 4th-year coaches. Tony Sanchez, on the other hand, he's on his 2nd year. He's returning 5 on offense, 4 on defense, and he brings in a new OC, David Yost. And he also brings in the transfer, Logan Fife, who came from Fresno State in the Mountain West, who I am familiar with. And he was a hometown hero back in the day. He kind of reminds me of Pavia because he's a small guy. You got to roll out to get the ball out and all that, but he's a gamer, you know, and in college football, gamers, they go far. Look at Pavia right now. But Louisiana Tech did play some defense against LSU, but, you know, maybe a little hangover from the LSU game. But this New Mexico team is also 2-0 going into this game, and the offense has showed that they've stepped up a little bit. In this game right here, I love New Mexico State, and I also like to sprinkle a little bit on the money line because I think they can shock the world and turn it around right here.
I wish I could touch on it, boss. I didn't really cap that game, though, unfortunately.
I don't have anything on it, my friend.
Yeah, that was just a tickle from the boss. Okay, that was just a tickle from the boss.
We'll talk about our contest pick here coming up after this, right?
Yeah, the real contest pick, UCLA and New Mexico. That's gonna be fun. But that's our biscuits and gravy section right here for you. You see the picks right there. If you're reviewing this, write them down, take a picture. Watch how we do this Arizona game tonight. And this week, since the last week we did 4-2-1, this week right here, it places us at the table. Let's go. We got to bust it down. We got to get at least 5 this week going into this. Before we move on to our other bets and why our guy is